One of the biggest struggles almost all creators have on Instagram is staying consistent. We've all been there, and especially when you've gone months without posting consistently on Instagram, it can feel really hard to start again. After I burnt out last summer and ended up not posting on Instagram for pretty much 4 months, like very erratically, I used the 3 tips that I'm going to share with you in this video to kind of pick myself up and start posting consistently on Instagram once again. And they've helped me stay consistent for all of 2022 so far, which I'm really proud of. So keep on watching to learn how I did it. Welcome everyone, or welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Katie, and I'm here to be your guide on the journey that is being a content creator. I've been making stuff on the internet for over 10 years now, and here on this channel I love to share with you all of the tips and tricks and strategies that I've learned on that journey so far, so that hopefully I can make your journey to being a content creator a little bit smoother and probably a whole lot faster. Like it shouldn't really have taken me 10 years to get to this point, but that's why I'm here, to help you along. Alright, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button, you got your notifications turned on, and let's get into that first tip for getting consistent on Instagram. Number 1, establish a content creation routine. This is probably the most important tip that I can share with you because it's really going to be the foundation of you being able to create content consistently that you're proud of and that fits with your goal as a brand or business. I talked about this a lot in my original video about how to get consistent on Instagram, which you can watch up here, but I wanted to follow that up with a few more concrete and tangible tips for actually getting this going. But here's the main takeaway from that video. You can't just approach posting in a haphazard whenever you feel like it kind of a way. You need to create a routine and systems that will keep you posting frequently because you can't just depend on your motivation or, sometimes lack thereof. You need to have a habit. So for example, here's what mine looks like. This is the content creation routine that I've put in place over the past several months that's helped me post pretty much every weekday to Instagram since the beginning of this year. Once a month, I sit down and I create a content calendar. I've got a whole process that I use for kind of going through this, for coming up with ideas, and I actually share that with you in my series. I don't really have an official name for it, but it's basically Plan My Content Calendar with Me. I'll link it up here and in the description if you want to check it out, but basically I've got 5 or so steps that I go through every month of places that I can check or things that I can get inspiration from so that I have a consistent well of ideas to draw from. So I have this process, right, where I sit down every month, usually like midway through the month, somewhere around the 15th, and I go through these steps of coming up with ideas and I fill out a content calendar for the next month. This content calendar can look different for everybody, but this is sort of an example of what mine looks like. This is like a little graphic that I made for my Instagram, but basically it's like 3 reels a week, 1 photo a week, and then 1 graphic a week. That seems to jive well with my audience, but you gotta look at your own insights to figure out what works for you. Anyway, so I have this structure, right? I've got this calendar template essentially that I'm filling out each month with these ideas. And then the week after I create that whole content calendar, I go through and I actually implement, I create those pieces of content that I thought of. So the way that I've been doing it while I've been here in my van is actually kind of breaking it up across a week. So I'm working on it this week, and on Monday I created all of the posts that are going to be going live on Mondays throughout April, and then on Tuesday I created all the posts that are going live on Tuesdays. See where I'm going with this. So basically that means throughout 1 week I only need to create about 4 posts per day. And that feels a lot more reasonable than sitting down one day and trying to come up with like 20 or 25 posts all in one day. I also find this has the side benefit of giving my grid a little bit more variety. I get questions about this all the time of how to make your content look like it wasn't batched, and I think this can be one really great strategy for that because I'm creating all of Monday's content in the same outfit and then like Tuesday's content in the same outfit roughly. That means that in any given week, you're not going to see repetition of the same outfit, right? Like I switch it up throughout the week. And of course, this is just the process that I use for creating the content. Sometimes I go back and I shuffle things around in later to make my grid look how I want it to look. But either way, it means that I've got 5 different outfits represented in my grid throughout the month. And that tends to make it look a lot more natural. So that's just my process. It might look different for you. Maybe you batch your content every week for the upcoming week. Maybe you do all of your posts in one day. I really believe that every creator needs to find a routine that's going to suit your own schedule, because that means that you're actually going to be able to implement it. It's all about making this habit easy for you to repeat. Because if you just try to copy my structure, that might not actually fit into your schedule that well. So it's just really important to think about what sort of process might work well for you. I know a lot of times we're stuck in this like, okay, I just got to keep creating. We don't take time to sit down and think about our systems. But if you want to be consistent, it is really worth investing the time in creating a plan and a process that you can repeat every month, rather than just being in this like fight or flight, I've got to create content now sort of mode. So to summarize this first tip, come up with a process that works for you and then come back to it month after month, and that is going to basically be the formula for consistency. My second tip is to schedule all of your content with something like Later. Obviously, there are a lot of different scheduling platforms out there. Later just happens to be my favorite. I've been using it for years. We use it over at my content creation agency, Creatorly Media, for all of our clients. There's some really awesome features, like you can now schedule carousel posts for auto publishing, which is super exciting. So you don't have to worry about going and following the notification for your carousel posts. I have this little trick for scheduling reels where basically what I do is I create a cover image for each of my reels, which I would suggest doing because then you can kind of optimize it for getting people to binge watch your reels content. But anyway, I create a cover photo and then I schedule that cover photo in Later with my caption. So then when it's time to post that reel, I get the notification, it automatically copies the caption to my clipboard, I get that cover image saved to my camera roll, and then I just need to go into my drafts or download the video from TikTok and then post it as a reel. So it makes the process on a daily basis super smooth. So I just think it's really important to use some kind of scheduling tool, because that's going to help you keep all of your content organized in one place. You're going to have all of your images or videos or cover photos and all of your captions in one place that you can easily access via just a quick notification to your phone. Building off of my scheduling tip, my third strategy for staying consistent on Instagram is giving myself a daily reminder, to-do list item to actually post and engage on Instagram. So like I was saying, while Later does give you a notification to remind you to post, if you're anything like me, you see notifications on your phone and you ignore them. It's really helpful to have that like one tap way to get to the post that you need to publish on a given day. But what I like to do that actually keeps me accountable to posting this content is I have a recurring to-do list item in my Notion, which is where I keep track of everything that I'm doing. So basically every day I have a little thing on my list that says post to Instagram, and I know if I haven't checked off that checkbox yet, I haven't posted yet. And so even if I happen to be busy, like I'm filming a video when I get my notification from Later or something like that, I know that later on in my day, I'll be reminded to go back and check, and I will make sure that that post goes live. You can use the same system to remind yourself to reply to comments or DMs or spend time engaging with your community. I get asked a lot about whether it's important to engage directly before and after you post something. That's why a lot of people have hesitation around using a scheduler like Later, because they think, oh, well, if my posts just automatically go live, then when am I going to engage? And I do think it's important to spend time replying to your comments and engaging with your audience, but you don't need to feel like it has to happen at a certain time. Certainly you don't want to post and ghost, like post something and then never ever reply to your comments. I know I've been guilty of that a time or two because life is busy, yo. Sometimes that happens. But it is really good if you can try to find some time in your day to go and reply to those comments. I think as long as it's within like 12 hours since you posted, I don't think it counts as post and ghost. Like, we're all just trying to live our life outside of our phones sometimes. So having a recurring to-do list item to both post your content and engage can be a really good way to keep you accountable to that consistency goal that you've set. So those are my 3 strategies that have really kept me consistent over these past few months. Hopefully they were helpful for getting you set on the right path. I know it can feel really hard to come back, especially after you've been kind of away from your Instagram for a while. One of the biggest hurdles can just be feeling awkward, like people maybe have forgotten about you or they're going to be surprised to see a post from you. It's natural to feel that way, but no, the best thing you can do is just to implement these strategies, start posting consistently again, and people will start getting used to that. most likely they'll be super happy to see posts from you again, so try not to feel awkward about it. If you want to hear more about my philosophy on staying consistent on Instagram and why it's not about motivation but actually about systems just like the ones I described in this video, then go ahead and check out my original video about Instagram consistency. And like I said before, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz so you don't miss out on my future videos. And as always, I hope that you are having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!